Hello, everyone.
Hi!
Welcome to another QuaranTeeny-Sode of I'm Horrified.
We are back.
We back.
Back streets back. All
All
right.
right.
I hope they're all staying inside.
All the Backstreet Boys?
I hope so.
I feel like all of NSYNC would stay inside, but there's a couple members of Backstreet Boys that wouldn't.
Which one is Joey Fatone in?
NSYNC.
I don't know if he would stay.
Tweeted us with who you think would stay inside from your favorite boy band.
From your favorite boy band. Harry Styles is staying inside and also advocating for healthcare workers, I'm sure.
Oh, nice.
I was talking to a friend about this. I feel like I was never a directioner. I never was. I feel like it totally skipped me fully.
I feel the same way, yeah.
But lately,
that
Harry Styles has really been doing it for me, really a lot. So what's the new album that he put out a new album? I don't even know the name of it.
I don't know the name of it.
I listened to it on Spotify. It's good.
I believe you. I believe it's good.
If you're thinking about some romance that you can't, it's unrequited right now because it's love in the time of Corona. You have a crush and things are starting to heat up, but now you're all quarantined. Listen to Harry Styles' new album. That's going to capture a lot of your feelings, I bet.
Ooh, I love that as a mood.
So you're welcome. Hot tip.
I should type coronavirus into Spotify and see what curated playlists come up. Because I bet a lot of people have come up with really fire coronavirus quarantine jams.
Quarantine. Quarantine to chill.
Yeah, a lot of those I think must exist now.
At first I was going to be oh, that's in bad taste. And I'm we named these QuaranTeeny-Sodes. So
yeah, I don't think it's in bad
taste. We're in bad taste.
As long as you're staying inside, I don't think anything's in bad taste.
Sam, what are we going to discuss today?
I think today we're going to discuss, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're discussing the worst, or not the worst. We're talking about so many bad things, but today's
the best, the hottest,
a little sexier, the sexiest president of the United States.
Sexiest president.
Woo!
Of these United States.
You're pointing down at your vagina of these United States.
Of these United, no. Yeah, so do you want to go first? You want me to go first? Do you feel strongly?
I had to do some work for mine, as I was texting you about.
You did say. So why don't you go first? You tell us where you landed.
Yeah, so guys, we decided to do this segment. My first thought should have been obvious to everyone. It was Teddy Roosevelt, great president, conservationist, cowboy, got shot once and didn't die because his chest was so muscular the bullet didn't go through.
Yeah, that's sexy.
Hot. Turns out he is a racist. So that's minus a billion sexiness points.
I know. It's not hot. I mean, it's immoral, and then secondarily, it's not sexy.
Yeah, it not being sexy isn't the most important thing about it, but it's undeniably not.
But for our purposes, it does disqualify, unfortunately.
Yeah. So then I was okay, who else can I think of? And then I was all right, on the other end of the spectrum, how about Woodrow Wilson? He's got kind of a hot professor vibe going.
You're hot for his intellect.
Exactly. He got us through World War I, and he was right about the League of Nations, and nothing is sexier than being correct. You know what
and
I
then
mean?
His whole life was ruined because no one listened to his, were they 9 points?
Mm-hmm. I think it was
and then
9, but yes.
11? Is it 11? I think it's 11 or 18.
Yeah.
It's either 9, 11, or 18. Nobody remembers because we didn't do them. But he went to the UN and was here's the way to fix the world. And they were we're not going to do that. And he was apparently really bummed out about that forever. So
I would be too.
Comforted him.
So I was maybe we can go Woodrow Wilson. Unfortunately, he was a segregationist. Also,
no, come on.
Not sexually attractive.
Come on.
Not good. So it's been pretty depressing how recent I had to go in history to find someone who was just not explicitly racist.
Yeah.
But I found one, I hope.
Okay.
And I think he has a boyish charm that's really working for me.
Okay.
So let's talk about Jimmy Carter.
You're going for Jimmy Carter?
I'm going for Jimmy Carter.
Wow.
I found some sexy things about him. Number one, if you Google young Jimmy Carter and he's in his little Navy uniform, I'm okay.
Yes, I'm gonna Google him. I don't think I've ever seen young Jimmy Carter.
It feels like a picture that you would show your friend and they'd be oh, he's cute. And you'd be he really looks cuter in real life. You know what I mean?
I believe that. I believe that he photographs poorly.
That's what I
He
felt
does.
from that picture.
He could either be like a really nice guy, like bring home to your parents, and then he'll like really charm them, or like he cuts your skin off and wears it.
Yeah.
Like it's one or the other. But we know it's the first one because he was the president. He's a nice guy.
Exactly. So he was our 39th president. He served one term from 1977 to 1981. And here are some of the sexiest facts about Jimmy Carter.
Love it. Can't wait.
Number one, he grew up on a peanut farm, so he knows how to work the land. He can get his hands dirty.
Ooh,
he can
dirty with
provide
peanuts.
for you. In high school, he joined Future Farmers of America, and he developed a lifelong interest in woodworking. These are all attractive facts to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that all works. I'm in. Number two, he was in the Navy, like I mentioned. Love a man in uniform.
Mm-hmm. We do. We really do.
Number three, perhaps the sexiest thing about him, he wasn't racist. This is huge.
This is huge for me.
He was the governor of Georgia, and as soon as I read that, I was like, uh-oh. But it turns out that he was in favor of racial tolerance and integration. Yeah.
We love to see it at the bare minimum, people. God.
So at one point, the local White Citizens Council boycotted his peanut warehouse because he refused to join them.
Great. That means you're doing something right. If white supremacists are mad at you, you're on the right track.
Great job. For a time, he kept his progressive views on the DL, but then he got elected governor of Georgia, and in his inaugural speech, he said, quote, "The time for racial discrimination is over. No poor, rural, weak, or Black person should ever have to bear the additional burden of being deprived of the opportunity for an education, a job, or simple justice."
Bingo.
Thank you. The crowd was shocked at the message because it contrasted so starkly with Georgia's political culture. And it's like, great job, Jimmy. You have done the bare minimum to be attractive to me. You did
the barest minimum. Like,
that's all I needed. That's all I needed.
You're literally just in the running because you're not a violent racist.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect.
And it, again, is upsetting to me how many people were immediately not on the list because of that. Among his first acts as president was the fulfillment of a campaign promise, which issued an executive order declaring unconditional amnesty for Vietnam War era draft evaders. Hot.
That's pretty hot.
And finally, perhaps the most hot thing about him, and anyone who loves like softness will agree with this, he has a long-lasting partnership with his wife, Rosalind.
I love that.
I know. So he met Rosalind Smith when he was a student at the United States Naval Academy at Annapolis. She developed a crush on him after seeing a picture of him in his uniform. And they have now been married for 74 years. And
They've been married for 74 years?
Yeah.
That's too long.
No, I think that's perfect.
It's really sweet, but I feel like if you've been legally married for 74 years, I don't know how you're alive, but okay.
They're both in their like mid to late 90s.
Oh God, I hope they're inside.
I know, me too.
Oh.
Let's not think about that. He's fine. Jimmy's fine.
I'm not thinking about that. He's gonna be fine.
But they have had like a wonderful partnership on it. She sat in on all his cabinet meetings. Like, they advocated for the same like social justice causes. And they've both talked about how they're equal partners in their relationship. The sexiest thing you can possibly be.
That is so sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
We love commitment. Mine has to do with commitment as well.
Exactly. I love a man who loves commitment. So vote for Jimmy Carter for sexiest president. He might only serve one term, but I promise he will get all 4 years.
Yay! We love to see it. Can you hear my parents in the background?
A little bit, yeah, but not too bad.
That's all right. We're gonna leave it in. This is part of quarantine. People are here.
Honestly, part of quarantine.
It's part of quarantine. So mine is a little bit different.
Ooh.
Mine is not technically a president.
Allison.
I know I'm breaking the rules, but here's what I'm saying. He would have been president if he hadn't been murdered. And we're like all historians would agree that he would have been president. So let me just, Hamilton? No, it's not Alexander Hamilton. He was probably racist too. Like everyone forgets, like he was like not Lin-Manuel Miranda, like he was just a white dude in history, and most of those are bad.
That's true, that's true.
And I went through a couple, like my runners-up were, I also thought of FDR. I also thought of Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Like he,
that
I
is
think
like the easy choice, Barack Obama.
It's such the easy choice. Like he's obviously the sexiest one, but also like when he came into office, I think we were 14?
Yeah.
So he has more of like a ideal dad energy for
I
me.
agree.
I think I see him as a father figure. I don't think, I'm gonna fix my little top bun.
I mean, would I fucking maybe asked? Yes. But
yeah, I mean, of course.
Father figure.
But that's the thing, is like, it's not, it didn't feel right. Mm-hmm. So I ended up landing, and I also thought of JFK. JFK, definitely the most good-looking one for a long time.
Absolutely.
Like, up until Obama, JFK was probably the most attractive president, and then Obama was the most attractive president. But JFK was kind of an asshole. Mm-hmm. He cheated on his wife, and he was probably addicted to pills, and he was probably kind of racist too. Like, he fought for civil rights, but like, his heart really wasn't in it, I don't think. I feel like he was just more of like a Democrat's tool. So I don't know if he really cared about justice, or if he was just kind of like, yeah, that's what the party believes.
Democrat's Tool, great band name.
That is a good band name. But then I thought, who has all of the beautiful boyish boy band charm of JFK, but none of the shittiness? His brother, Bobby Kennedy.
There you go.
So my sexiest president is Bobby Kennedy, the dead president of our hearts. So I know this is breaking the rules, but I just feel like, A, there are no rules. This is our but B, like, I absolutely believe, like, he was so gonna be president that, like, he is a president in history. Kind of like Hillary Clinton. You know,
don't talk about that right now.
Don't talk about that right now. Okay, so if you don't know this, Bobby Kennedy, born 1925, younger brother of JFK, he was assassinated in 1968 while he was campaigning for president. And there's a lot of questions of like how he was murdered, how he was assassinated, all this kind of stuff. But he was beloved by the Democrats. He was beloved by the people who were absolutely heartbroken over JFK being shot. He was beloved by my grandmother, Peggy, who loved Democrats and loved JFK and had a framed picture of JFK in her house.
Nice.
And again, all the hotness of JFK, but I don't think he cheated on his wife. Everyone's acting like in the biopics, like he and Jackie like fell together in grief. I don't think that happened.
He and Jackie?
Yes, I'm saying that right now, that I don't think that happened. Wow. A lot of people think that, but I don't think that. That's a Ted
I've never heard that.
That's a Ted Kennedy move, all right?
Oh,
we're not talking about Ted. We're talking about Bobby. Massachusetts forgave Ted Kennedy way too quickly, in my opinion, but that's just such a different conversation. But yeah, so he was super into human rights, and I believe him. Like, I believe him when he said he was into human rights. Now, he wasn't like woke by today's standards. No white people can be woke, but like, he wasn't politically on the same level as people are today. I'm just going to keep talking as I'm fixing my top bun.
Yeah, go for it.
The top knot, for those of you who are listening to the audio version, my top knot is, it's in shambles.
I thought it looked nice.
It's in shambles right now. It's falling apart. Okay. But I'm just going to keep going.
I'll do a top knot too.
What was I talking about?
Bobby Kennedy, he wasn't woke by today's standards, but.
Yes. So, but I believe that if he were alive today, he would be, like, he and AOC would be working on policies together.
Ooh.
That's what I think. His grandson, I think it's just his grandson, is a congressman in Brookline, and I think he's probably going to be senator someday. He's running for senator, I think, but I think he's going to be senator. And he has a lot of, I think he's a great congressman. Uh-huh. He's not like perfect on all the things, but I definitely think he's like following in those footsteps. And yeah, he cares about human lives. He cares about civil justice a lot. And he was taken from us too soon. And he had like 1 million children. So you know that he and his wife like got down on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. That's a good sign. That's pretty hot. Devoted to your wife. Devoted to his kids. Like, he was apparently a really good dad. He was really smart. He loved like learning, and like he never wanted to be president. But then like when Jack died, like he felt like somebody needed to carry on the legacy and like carry on like justice for human rights and things like that. I like that. So yeah. He's my pick.
I mean, he was undoubtedly very sexy.
He was very sexy. I agree.
And if you're into wasps, which we're both from Massachusetts, so
Exactly.
your answer, like, you really can't get much better than old Bobby.
If you want someone who's going to probably propose to you on a yacht and then buy you your own yacht,
You got to pick a
this
Kennedy.
is where you got to get a Kennedy.
Absolutely.
I once saw Joe Kennedy. Is it Joe? It's Joe.
I think it's Joe.
It's Joe Kennedy. Yeah, Joe Kennedy. I saw him at a diner with his 2 little daughters.
Oh.
It was really cute. And he was being such a good dad. Like, the kids were being little monsters, and like his daughter was like upturning the sugar bowl with all the sugar packets in it, and he was just like helping her put it back in the sugar bowl. And I'm like, that could have been our president if he was his grandfather in 1968.
If only.
If only. So that's my answer. I know it's not a real answer.
Choice. I love that.
I know it's an out-of-the-box choice. I'm in an out-of-the-box mindset because I'm losing my mind.
Because we're all stuck in boxes.
Because we're all stuck inside.
Yeah.
Forever until we're dead.
Seemingly forever. At least through April, it seems like now.
At least through April. Oh boy.
But
we're gonna persevere, and we're just gonna keep doing these.
Yes.
And we're gonna come back and do least sexy president. No, we can't do that because there's only one answer.
Besides the obvious answer. Much like we chose not to do a
besides the obvious.
The second least sexy president.
I want to know, say who I think. No, you know what? I'm not gonna do it now.
Frankly, we got to save topics because who knows how long we'll be recording these.
we could do the least sexy president on the anniversary next year when we're still in quarantine. Heyo, but for now, this is the content you get.
Yeah.
We love you. We hope you're staying safe, and we hope you're doing what you can. And we'll be here. We're here for you, and we're all together in a kind of a roundabout way. So make sure you call your grandparents if they're alive. Call any old people you know.
Or do a seance if they're dead.
You could also do a seance. This is a good time for a seance, honestly. So that's it. Until we see you next, please be well.
Please be well. Bye.